and low body count would be good.
Do you offer a low body count?
Do I offer a low body count? I don't reveal my body count.
So why should she then?
What do you mean?
Like if that's what you're looking for, but like, are you going to tell her?
I would privately, if she asked, I would tell her what my body count is. But I don't think, as a guy, if you have a high body count, that you can only date women who have high body counts. I don't think it makes you a hypocrite. It would make you a hypocrite if you were to say women shouldn't have high body counts, but you contribute yourself to giving women a high body count. Although, well, can a guy contribute to a woman having a high body count? Because
who else are they?
Well,
sort
of, but like as a guy on an individual level, you're only one body. So, you know what I mean? Now, as a guy, I think if you like play with a girl who is desirous of a long-term relationship and you like feign that you want something serious when really your intentions are to just sleep with her and then ghost her, then I would say that could contribute to another body a little. But I don't think men should do that. Because me personally, I have no interest in one night stands or sleeping with somebody once. But I don't think there's a double standard, because I don't think in order for you to desire something in a partner, that you yourself need to possess it.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of hypocritical though?
I don't think it's hypocritical, because I think that's just normal.
So it's normal for guys to sleep around and
you gotta speak into the mic, guys.
So it's normal for guys to sleep around and then kind of require...
I'm not saying it's normal. I do think there's differences when it comes to body count. I think men typically tend to care about it more, and I think women typically tend to care about it less. If a woman wants to date a guy who's a virgin, more power to you. That's a totally fine preference for a woman to have. I happen to think it's the case, though, that women don't have a strong preference for dating men who are virgins, like women who have previous sexual partners. I don't think that's a very strong preference for women, because I think.
Not. But I guess who's more likely to
a religious woman might be inclined to do that. But like, for example, you don't need to possess a trait to find it desirable in a partner. For example, a woman who is broke could be attracted to a guy who's rich. Need she also make as much money as him to be attracted to him because of his wealth? I don't think so. I think that's just normal. Same with humor. A woman need not be funny to be attracted to a guy who's funny. I'm not saying women can't be funny, but what I'm saying is there are plenty of women out there who probably aren't fun. Like, I would say if you ask every single woman, would you like a guy who's funny? Every single woman's going to say, yes, I'd like a guy who's funny.
I think a lot of people look for
Are they funny
qualities
themselves?
in
Probably
other
not.
people that they don't have themselves too. Like, there's a lot of people that do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I agree with that.
Well, and I think it also comes down to instinct too, because one of the things that you're bringing up is also innate in men generally, is that they don't want to be with a woman who has slept around. And it's not necessarily a rational fear, but it is in like all animals. That's like why when a male lion takes over a pride, he will often kill the young cubs of the other pride, because men have kind of innate in them a fear of a woman bearing the child of another man.
Yeah.
Yes, innate competition. And so that's one of the things that you're touching on, is it may not matter as much to women, but it does matter to men, and there is a reason for that. It's kind of in their nature to some extent.
Yeah, I mean, then when it comes to body count, there's just another biological factor, and that comes down to paternity uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So a woman who's had a lot of sexual partners, and this is not always necessarily on a conscious cognitive level, but a woman who's promiscuous, at least previously, before the advent of birth control, a woman who is promiscuous, and let's say she gets pregnant, there's no way to guarantee who the father is.
Mm-hmm.
Paternity testing is something that came about in the 1980s. So back in the day, like, okay, let's say a woman has 10 husbands, and they're all sleeping with her, who's the father? Prior to paternity testing, you don't know. Whereas if a woman gets pregnant, she knows. If a woman has if a man has 10 wives and they're loyal to him, you know who the father is. Or sorry, excuse me. The women know. Hold on. I'm
I
losing
feel
my
like
train
your
of thought.
argument's like
No, no, no.
collapsing in on
I'm-
itself a
I'm-
little
It's
bit.
getting
I'm like,
late.
wait,
I got
let him
it.
finish. Let him finish.
No. I got
But-
tongue-tied. So, okay, a woman who has 10 husbands, right?
Okay.
You don't know who the father is. But a man who has 10 wives, and of course, assuming that the 10 wives are all loyal to him, you know who the father is in all instances. You know who the mother is, of course. The woman always knows who the mother is because you birthed the child. But men don't have that same just immediate knowledge.
I don't want a man with 10 baby mamas. I'm going to be honest. I don't want that.
Yeah,
like,
sure,
it's the
but,
same kind
but
of.
the difference is that as a guy, there's never going to be a question as to, like, since women are the ones that give birth, there's never going to be an uncertainty about maternity. There's no such thing as maternity uncertainty. But for men, it's a very genuine fear that they could potentially be raising a child that they think is theirs that's not. That's pretty much the biggest L that a guy can take in his life, is to raise a kid that you think is yours that's not.
Yes.
Because
No, I understand that fear. That's not great. I guess I'm feeling.
No, it's really bad. It's
no,
really bad.
I understand that. I guess I'm coming at like from the opposite perspective of like, I would feel really crappy if my husband said he was at work and he has a whole second family. It's like,
Sure,
wait, you
that would
committed
be-
to me? Like, wait a minute, hold on, you have all of it. Like, I was listening to Usher on the way here, and I was listening to Confessions 1 and 2, and I'm like, if my man made a song like this, like, you're so important to me, but I got my side chick pregnant. Sorry, she's keeping it. Like, wait, what? Hold on.
Sure.
And it's the same idea of like you want your person to be committed to you, and I think that should go both
Sure.
ways. Go both ways. You know, don't
Sure.
sleep around. It's not great for you.
Sure,
do it.
and certainly that could be a fear for women because there's certain financial ramifications if your husband has
It's like a respect
sired
thing, yeah.
another, I don't know what the term, has kids with another woman, because then his resources might be diverted and cannot be solely focused on, and I'm kind of coming at this from an evolutionary perspective, the survival of your family. However, it's different, like that's a little different than like paternity fraud, where this man who potentially you're fucking with his ability to like he thinks he's propagated his bloodline, but like that's not his kid.
Totally.
So
It's
that's
so
that's
wrong
like
when
a
women do that. It's so wrong.
What
Same with
is
like
it, what is the sleeping around means?
sleeping
Like,
around.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like how
Oh.
many it will call like? Oh,
Oh,
you're
like
sleeping
what's a
around.
high body count?
Yeah. What is it?
It depends on
I
their
think,
age.
Yeah, it depends on how old you are.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, somebody my age, 30,